everybody, happy Sunday. So today marks today marks the week, or a week anniversary since I guess I've been doing this, and I've really enjoyed it. Beyond just really like diving into like my heart and soul and figuring out kind of how I feel, it's been really awesome applying, I guess you could say, my new feelings to everyday life. Today in church, we talked about James. Like I said in one of my last videos, we're doing a series on James. And today we talked about James chapter 4, verse 11 through 17. And every time I talk to somebody about church, they always say that, you know, it's almost crazy how every single time you go, you feel like the pastor's preaching to you. And so what we talked about today was kind of basically slander. We talked about how the things you say and how you're quick to judgment and kind of the negativity and harshness that you bring to other people, you know, how it affects you, how it affects your relationship with God, how it affects everything. And the verse, or the verse for James chapter 4. So 11 and 12 were the ones that really like kind of touched home for me. They say, "Speak not evil of one another, brethren. He that speaketh evil of his brother and judgeth his brother speaketh evil of the law and judgeth the law. But if thou judge the law, thou art not a doer of the law, but a judge. There is one lawgiver, who is able to save and to destroy. Who art thou that judgest another?" And I really like that because, especially being a female, there's a lot of cattiness, and there's a lot of rivalry, and there's a lot of competition, and there's a lot of insecurities, and there's a lot of X, Y, and Z, and all this stuff. And it's very prevalent in the fitness world. It's very prevalent. It's all over the place. And one thing that I last Sunday that I decided I'm cutting out of my life is negativity, whether that be in my own head, in other people, basically period. And I have found it's not that it was hard to get out of my own heart, but it's hard to get away from with people. Just talking to people, you know, it's funny how when you're a little bit more aware of it, how much more it's in your face. Sarcasm is something that I've always used as a crutch. You know, dealing with stuff mentally, you know, emotionally and whatnot. And that's something that I'm trying to get away from it, you know, and it's hard. And one of the things that I'm trying to do is, instead of even like poking at people for fun, I'm trying to stop. There's a few people in my life who, for lack of a better term, no, I'm not even gonna say that. There's people in my life who necessarily don't do things the way that I would, and I laugh at it a lot. It's something I'm trying to get away from. I'm trying to be a little bit more supportive. Whenever I have those thoughts in my head, I'm like, stop. That person's happy. They're not doing anything to hurt you. They're not doing anything to hurt anybody. You know, like, quit. You know, and it's easy for me to do that when I'm alone, but it's a little bit harder when there's somebody else doing it and you kind of fall into it. And so in my heart, I know what I need to do to get away from it, and I'm slowly, you know, I'm pushing people away, the ones I don't want to be around. But I think that that's something that I'm really going to focus on this week, is making sure that the people I surround myself with are people that lift me up, you know. And this past few days, I've been hanging out with a group of people who are awesome supporters. I started going to a new gym, and I am in the works of probably getting sponsored by these people. It's the Cage Gym out in Chesapeake, and I'm really excited to be a part of everything they're doing, because they are some of the most genuine people I've ever met. And those are the people that you need in your life. Not cynicism, not cynical people, not haters. You know, whether you think you're being funny or not, when you're being sarcastic and you're tearing somebody down, you know, like, there's nothing funny about that to me anymore. It's almost just sad, you know what I mean? But one thing too that I started thinking about was the things that you don't necessarily want in your life. You don't, like, if I pushed away everybody for some of the things that I was changing, I would literally have 0 people around me. Swearing, for one. Like, I've quit swearing. Like, it's kind of funny how easy it was for me once I had a different point of view for it. You know, Jordan would be on me a lot about it, and it wasn't ever anything that I ever saw as bad. But the day that I was saved, I went and I did all this, you know, I just did a lot of reading that day. And when you kind of have a different approach to what kind of a Christian you want to be, it's so easy. You know what I mean? Like, once I heard a song this morning, and it's basically like, I don't remember what it was called. I have it on my Spotify, but it's just like, once you're born again and you have that desire, like, it's super easy. I think the hardest thing is that there's been things I've said for years, and, you know, there's a cuss word in it, and I still want to say those things. Like, for instance, like, when you get all sweaty and you got sweat in your butt crack, I call that swamp butt. You know what I mean? And it just sounds stupid when I say it like that, but, you know, it's not anything bad, but it's just, you know, a way that I've said it. So I'm trying to figure out different things to do that for. But one of the things that I kind of came to terms with today in church was, so everybody sins, and the way that God sees it, it's all the same, you know, and we all have our, you know, we all have our different opinions about things, but in the end, a sin is a sin. You shouldn't do it, and you should do everything you can in your power not to. And one of the things that I kind of had a misconception on was like, okay, so let's say we got Piggy here, and Piggy, what does Piggy like to do? I don't know. Piggy likes to just let's say Piggy likes to cuss. So Piggy's over here cussing, and I'm not. And in my head, I used to think, all right, so I'm not the one who's doing the judging about the sin. Let me just let Piggy do his thing, and I'm still gonna do me. I'm being a good Christian, you know, by not doing the sin. But me and Piggy are still gonna hang out. Now, in all reality, I need to be going up to Piggy and be like, listen, Piggy, you're not doing so hot. You need to quit cussing, da 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 da. You know, and you need to try to help the people, I guess, come to terms with what they're doing. One of a good thing that I learned is, a fool says there is no God, but someone who believes in God but does not follow him is a bigger fool. I don't know if that was a Bible verse or what, but I, like, listening to that, I was like, that's true. You know, like, if you're gonna make the commitment to Christ and you're not gonna sit there and, like, do everything you can to be as good as you can, like, that's pretty stupid. That's like driving down a road like 90 miles an hour, knowing it ends, but you still keep going. You know what I mean? Like, you're sitting here and you're doing all this stuff, you don't feel bad for it, you don't care, but in the end, you know you're gonna get judged, but you still do it. You know, I don't get that. So my hair is out of control today. I don't know, like, I haven't really had time to, like, process all this yet, but it's just kind of like I just got home and I don't know. It's awesome. Let's see, some other things that they talked about. So yeah, so that's something I'm going to do. Not only am I going to place myself around good people, but I'm going to uphold other Christians to try to be the best ones they can be. And that's one thing that I'm going to try to work on this week. Because it's easier to uphold stuff like that when other people around you are doing it. You know what I mean? Alright, so let's see. What else? Yeah, the whole slander thing. Back to that for a second. One of my friends, she reached out to me not long ago when I started posting a lot of stuff, and it really shocked me because it's not somebody I talk to very often, and it's not somebody that I really honestly wanted to associate myself with because of the way they present themselves on social media. But it was very humbling that they came to me for advice on a couple of things, and that was the first time that I guess I got to put my faith into good use. Because I mean, the second she came to me, I dropped everything that I'd ever felt. You know, I just didn't hold a lot of respect for this person, honestly. And but it was funny how instantly I wanted to take them in and be like, listen, this is what I think, this is what I've read, this is what the Bible says, listen to this pastor, listen to this person. And it really makes you feel good when you have the ability. I mean, I don't even have that much experience under my belt. It's just a fact of I know what it takes to be a good person, and I know what God wants me to do. And I have a voice. I'm very good at talking to people, and I'm very good at talking to people I don't know. I'm very good at talking to crowds, and that I think that's my gift. My gift is to just share my story, share my experiences, share my thoughts, you know, and even if it just reaches one person, that's all it took for me. It's just one person, you know, to push me, you know, and I'm willing to do that. This video has been literally all over the place. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. But all I know is today was a great day. Great sermon at church. Really glad I'm starting to find some friends. And yeah, I went to a barbecue today by myself at church. And one thing I'm not good at is when I'm the new person making friends. But I went in there and I was like, you know what? Get one person's name. That's it. Just talk to one person. So I met a 5-year-old. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I did. But I met this family, and one of them, he ended up being Coast Guard, and met him and his wife and their 2 kids, and we were chatting, and it was great. They don't go to my service, but I know them. I have a friend at church now. So that's kind of cool. It's kind of nice meeting people. So, but I found a devotional group I'm going to start going to Tuesday nights. Yeah, so I'm getting excited. You know, it's one of the biggest things is with what we're learning in church is faith that works. No, I think that's what it's called. Faith that works. Yeah, faith that works. And you know, if you're not doing anything to progress it, what are you doing? I guess you could say. Like, I jumped into this, I mean, feet first, because the way I've felt this week has been unreal. It's been a really tough week for me, but I've never felt better, you know. And every single time I got down, all I did was just be like, you know, this, what, I don't understand, but I'm, you know, you just gotta trust them, and things have really fallen into place for me. It's wild, you know. And I'll do a couple videos about kind of, you know, how once I just completely put my trust in him, how things are just like, like, I sat there today and just thought about my situation, and I was like, wild. So anyways, so today I just want to touch base about what we talked about in church. I go to River Oak Church in Chesapeake. If you guys ever want to join me, I go to the 9:30 service. I kind of sit in the back off to the left. Come find me. But anyway, so I hope you guys have a blessed Sunday, and have a great week. I'll probably have, you know, 4 or 5 videos coming out this week. Like I said, I'm going to try to do this pretty frequently. So anyways, I hope you guys have a great afternoon, and until next time, I will talk to you later. Bye.